Hey everyone, so I finally decided, since I'm dressed up today, I would do the Goth Tag. So, I don't have any questions anyone has sent in to me. I don't think I have enough subscribers for that, really. So, I'm just going to wing it and do my best to explain to you guys about myself, why it is I went with Goth Culture, why I veered that way when I was younger, and things I like about it, things I hate about it. And I'm just going to try and cover as much as I can. So anyway, I'm currently 33 years old. I first started dabbling in goth culture when I was in my teens. I just think my late teens rather than my early teens. In my early teens I was mostly kind of just grunge, I guess. I kind of went back and forth between hippie and grunge. But then once I got into high school, I was just mostly just kind of an art kid, I guess you'd say. I just dressed to be as unique as possible, but not necessarily goth. I liked goth culture, I loved the aesthetics of it, and the people I met were nice. However, certain things were forbidden at home, because I was still living with my parents because I was so young. And I have a feeling that if my parents had met more goth people, they would have been okay with it, but didn't go that way, so. Did I have goth friends when I was in high school? Well, yes, I did, actually. Most of my friends were either goth, or they were something of the alternative description. Friends with a lot of grunge kids, friends with a lot of, I guess the anime and industrial kids as well. So anyway, as far as being a baby bat, I really don't have like much of baby bat history, other than like I did sneak a few goth things into my little world. Actually, I have a crow umbrella that's broken, but I still have it because I want to fix it someday, and I'm going to show it to you guys. Give me 1 second. And I bought this at Hot Topic when I was like, see, here's the broken piece, when I was like 16 years old, but here's the broken piece. And yes, I'm going to open it indoors because I'm stupid that way. I've had this since I was 16 years old, and I'm 33 now, so keep that in mind. Almost 20 years I've had this umbrella. It's always kind of fun to get out things I've had for a long time and show them to people. As far as baby bat stuff, that's about it. So, for a long time when I was younger, I kind of went back and forth between subcultures. I've always been alternative, keep that in mind. I have always been alternative. And very strange. People tend to be kind of put off by me, but I've learned to just kind of live with it, because honestly, if they're judging me without even really getting to know me first, then I think they're the ones who are worthy of ridicule, and that's just my opinion. So actually, even last week, and this is one of the things that I do sometimes hate about being goth, or that I just kind of roll my eyes or just feel kind of shitty, when people actually say something rude to you or react in a very rude, negative way. For instance, last week, I parked my bus. I'm a school bus driver. I parked my bus after I dropped off all my middle school kids at their school, and I went inside to use the bathroom, and I was dressed a lot like I am right now. All black, and all these necklaces on, and my hair all teased up, the dark makeup, the dark lipstick, and everything. And I'm walking into the office to get the faculty bathroom key. And this kid, I don't know how old he was, probably 12 or 13, walks past me and he goes, "Ugh." And so I glanced at him and I said, "Are you okay?" He goes, "Well, you scared me." And I said, "I don't think I scared you." I said, "I think you were just looking for something ugly to say and do to someone." He said, "Well, you scared me." I said, "I don't think so." And that was it. He carried on, and I kind of like, looked at him. I turned it back then to look through the window of the office as I walked to the bathroom, and I could see he kind of had his head hung a little bit. I think I kind of made him realize that what he did was in fact a rotten thing to do. And he did it just to be a shithead, no other reason. So, as far as like actually adults bugging me, that bothers me a whole lot more because adults are old enough to know better. I get coworkers who make rude remarks sometimes, but I just kind of ignore them. I have one coworker who said some rude remark about he was, I forget exactly what he said, but the remark was supposed to be kind of an underhanded way of asking if I was into fetishism, like if I was into bondage and stuff like that, and I'm like, why are you even thinking about that with me? I mean, is there like, is your mind just in the gutter all the time, or is this something about me? And he just really didn't have an answer for that, and so, yeah, so I do have pretty good comebacks most of the time. I think most goths do have really good comebacks when someone does that to them because they're so used to it. And they, get online and talk and give each other advice. Like, well, here's how you respond, and here's how you sound sophisticated and intelligent and kind, and here's how you can really kind of put them in their place, but without insulting them and having it turn into an argument. I want it to be over with. I want to say what I need to say, but I want it to be over then and there. I want to have the final word, but the thing is, you got to you got to be really smart about it. Otherwise, it does turn into a thing, and in the end, then you just look like the bad guy if it turns into like an argument. So, let's see what I like about goth culture. I mean, I like the aesthetics, like I said. The people tend to be extremely kind and sensitive. Tend to be very deep thinkers, very intellectual. Goths also tend to be, I've noticed, very educated, very self-taught. I mean, bookworms, big time. And that's how I was when I was a kid. I was never denied access to reading material. I always had a book to read. I always was allowed to look at whatever book I wanted to, really. And my parents never told me no. I mean, when it came to like, oh, can I read this book? Can I learn about this? I was never told no. And so I do definitely thank them for that. And a lot of goths, I don't necessarily know if they all had a similar upbringing as me, but they all seem to be very well-read and educated. So now as far as like the horror culture and the horror fantasy aspect of goth, I do like horror movies. And I do like fantasy stuff, and when you combine the two, I think goth is kind of what you get. So, even though goth stems from like the music movements in the early 1980s, after punk music was kind of starting to die out, I think punk overlapped and became goth. It's sort of like this evolution has been occurring ever since then, and ever since then also it's kind of become very tangential and very overlapped. Like the different segments of goth culture definitely overlap one another. So, as far as elitists go who say, well, you're not dressed this way, or this way, therefore you're not really goth, or you don't know anything about this music or that music, so you're not really goth. You really can't say that because there's so much there. The culture is so big. There's like so many bands and so many songs and tons of movies and tons of books and so much clothing. You can't possibly know all of it. You can't possibly learn all of it. It just does not work that way. I think what most goths do is they have the things that they really, really like and are passionate about within the goth culture, but then they have the things that like they're open to, and the things that they don't care for. But honestly, anyone who bashes something about you or about you and says you're not goth, that's what they kind of hinge it on. That person is an elitist, they're a twat, they suck, just don't talk to them. So I mean, if you're young and you're just now like getting into goth, and you face that, and someone comes up to you, I mean, some elitists and assholes at goth clubs love to do this. They'll come up to you, and they'll say, oh, so well, what's your favorite Bauhaus song, or what's your favorite Sisters of Mercy song, or which is your favorite Fields of the Nephilim album? They'll say something like that to throw you off and to make you feel like shit because they honestly they get off on doing it. They feel entitled to treat you that way. And because a lot of them feel like baby bats are ruining the scene. So they'll do that just to annoy you. And so the best comeback is, well, gosh, I'm still new at this. I really love the culture. I think it's so beautiful, and I'd love to learn more. Why don't you, do you have your iPod on you, or do you have your MP3 player? Can I listen to some of your songs? and just see what they say. You know, if you're just getting into it, how the heck are you supposed to know all this stuff? So, like I said, it's like this giant pit of stuff that you know, if someone expects you to know all of it, they're an asshole. But the thing is, I think a lot of people who say who act like they expect you to know all of it, they don't actually expect you to know all of it. They just want to make you feel bad because, I don't know. I mean, I could speculate on why they do it. I mean, I guess they're a troll, so they're an asshole. That's the best explanation I can give there. So, anyway, what else was I getting ready to talk about? Oh yeah, see, being a goth at age 33, a lot of people kind of assume that after, like, your 20s, you kind of grow out of it. I don't think so. It's not so much that people change as they grow older. I think it's that they become more of who they really, really are. And if you dabbled in being goth younger, like I did, and then kind of it slowly evolved. I mean, here I am. So I'm at age 33. I live with my parents. My mom loves it to death. She thinks it's really cool when I tease my hair and and do my makeup and stuff. And she always compliments me. My dad really doesn't say much of anything. My uncle doesn't say anything. For one thing, he is completely blind, so he can't see me. He has no idea what I look like right now. He has said that he always kind of envisions me the way I looked when I was like 16 years old, because that's when his eyesight started going bad. So, yeah. Where to find clothing? Finding clothing can be very difficult, as I'm sure many of you have discovered. Shopping online is definitely a resource. I can't really name very many websites off the top of my head other than goodgoth.com, Vampire Freaks, Dracula clothing, vampire clothing, gosh, check on Etsy as well. Let's see, Amazon, you can find stuff on Amazon. Though a word from the wise. On Amazon, check and find out what you're ordering, where it's coming from, clothing wise. Like, where is it coming from? Because if it's coming from like some weird Asian country, their sizes over there are very different. So like if you're a size medium and you order a size medium, it's going to show up and it's going to be like a size extra small here, and you won't be able to wear it. I ordered something in like extra large or something like that, because I am kind of chubby, as you can see. And it showed up, and I was really pissed because it turned out that it was actually like way too big. It was like huge. So I really don't know what the happy medium is, but definitely check and find out where it's coming from, and then definitely look at the sizing chart. Otherwise, it's just going to turn into a huge headache if you're having to return it and then wait for another one, or return it and then wait for your money back. So, a lot of goths do their clothing DIY. That's kind of how I do things. I made this necklace. You can see it's a heart, it's a locket. I made this necklace also. In fact, I have a video about this. DIY goth choker. So, yeah. And I also DIY'd this necklace. It's a basic, like, graphite colored chain with a black ribbon running through it. So, yeah, and I also did both of, no wait, not that one. I did this bracelet here. It's like fake vinyl from a pair of pants, or faux leather from a pair of pants, and then eyelets. So yeah, so going to the craft store to get supplies to make your clothes and stuff is going to be expensive initially, but I think in the end it pays for itself, because gothic clothing is actually very, very expensive. So yeah. Oh, there's also Violet Vixen. That's a good one too to check out for like corsets and stuff. So I'm also trying to think of what else to talk about next. Music. I'll talk about my personal taste in music. I tend to like the classic stuff from like the 1980s. As you can see, like this look I have going right here, this is called traditional goth, or Batcave goth. This was a really popular look back in the early 1980s when, you know, kids who were kind of evolving from punk to goth, this is how they would dress. Really put on like a bunch of necklaces, and they'd have on the big earrings, and they teased their hair and put tons of hairspray. I mean, they'd be flammable pretty much. So they go to the goth club, and this is how they looked. The hair teased up and everything. I love the look of the Batcave goth. But I also love the look of like kind of the vampire goth, but my taste in music tends to be more like the early 80s post-punk synth and like dark wave and that era particularly. So, but then again, I kind of listen to all of it really, except for I don't really listen to a lot of the industrial stuff as much as I used to. I feel like it's gotten to be too much just clicking noises and banging noises, and it's like it's not really music sounding to me. So I tend to stick with stuff that's more melodic, that has more of a contemporary songwriting structure to it. So as far as naming bands, there's just too many because I really love music, and I don't only listen to goth music or alternative music. I listen to a lot of stuff actually. I love classical music. I listen to like meditation and relaxation music. I listen to international music. I listen to oldies. I listen to 80s pop, some 90s pop. So classic rock. I mean, it's classic country. There's a lot of stuff that I listen to. And you don't have to just stick with only things within your subculture when you are part of that subculture. Anyone who says you have to, like I said, they're an elitist asshole. Fuck them. So, you can listen to whatever you want. You're you. You have complete authority over what you listen to, what you do, how you dress, your makeup, your hair. It's all up to you. And that's part of being goth, is celebrating the fact that you can do what you want to do. And here's the thing about prejudice. I've said this before in one of my other videos, but I'll say it again. Prejudice undermines the very spirit of the alternative community, because the alternative community is supposed to be a safe place for people who are different. If you're going to treat someone who's different like shit, then you're the one who's shitty. You don't belong in the goth community. You're completely just defeating the purpose of the place where you are. So, get out. See, going to the club. Well, let's see. We don't really have a goth nightclub here in Louisville. We have like one night a month, I think, where the goths can get together. There's a bar here in town. I think it's called Sensations or something like that. It's a gay bar, but they have like a back room that they rent out for stuff. And one night a month, it's like a $3 cover charge, and goths, will come in and go back there. So anyway, and it's not a lot of people show up. I mean, there are plenty of elder goths, and there are some like younger goths that honestly seem kind of hipstery to me, but I don't know. I mean, I guess this is kind of how they're dressing these days, which is fine. They're nice people. I don't know, but last time I went, I kept seeing all these people coming in who like obviously really weren't particularly gothy. Like they were like blue jeans and just like a t-shirt, and I'm like, you're not goth, why are you here? And I kind of wonder sometimes if when non-goth people come into a goth nightclub or to a goth night, I think that they're like that guy at work who asked me about fetishism. They're assuming that goths are into fetishism, and they're thinking they're going to pick up a goth chick and have a wild night. I kind of think that that's what's on their mind a little bit, or they're there just to gawk and just to kind of like point and stare. Oh, look at the goth people, they're so weird, let's take their picture without them knowing. And I've had that done to me before too. Someone like tried to take a picture of me without me knowing about it, and basically I told them to go fuck themselves, and told them if I saw that picture anywhere online that I would find them and they'd be in trouble. So yeah, we don't have one here in Louisville, just a goth night. No one really shows up much. So, but when I go to Cleveland to visit my boyfriend, they have a goth nightclub there called The Chamber, and it's only open 2 nights a week, Friday and Saturday. And it's decorated really nicely. It looks kind of like a vampire lair. It's in the first floor of a building that's got a whole bunch of like offices and other bars and nightclubs and stuff in it. And it's full of like, gargoyles and skulls and candles and old like Victorian looking lamps and really cool couches, and it's got chains hanging from the ceiling, and it's got a dance floor and a DJ and everything, and so and behind the bar actually, the beer cooler, the lettering for the word for The Chamber on the beer cooler actually is 80s style, like I guess 80s style, like computer tech looking letters. It's pretty cool. And then if you go downstairs, oh, there is an arcade in there too. Like they've got a few pinball machines and some old arcade games in there. And if you go downstairs, there's like a little sitting area, and there's also the bathrooms, which the bathrooms kind of suck. It's freezing down there, and the stall door doesn't shut all the way, so like you have to have someone hold it for you. And like if there'll be like 10 girls lined up to use the bathroom, and we'll just take turns holding the door for each other. So you just have to be patient with each other and be helpful and stuff. I think that's a good thing. So that's my experience going to the Goth nightclub. How long does it take me to do my hair? It depends on what I'm doing with it. If I'm going to crimp it first, I always crimp it the night before, because the crimp really doesn't come out overnight. I can sleep on it and the crimp stays in my hair. It's not crimped right now. It's just straight. What I did this morning actually was I like grabbed sections of hair and like held it up and just sprayed my roots with hairspray, and would hold it up until it dried, and then just continue that all over my head. And then I took my teasing comb and just like teased the hell out of it, and then sprayed and sprayed and sprayed, and just kind of squished it all around, and then pulled out my little peaks, these little wispies that you see all over the place. I just kind of pulled on them until I got the feathery look I wanted. And it's not like plastic really. And but then would hold my, like the ocean wave of my bangs. There's a bobby pin in there. I don't know if you can see it. See it? It's right there. So yeah. So yeah. It took me probably 25-30 minutes, I'm guessing, to do my hair this morning. So yeah, I could have that wrong. And to do my makeup, I think most goths, you know, hair and makeup is something they spend a lot of time on. My makeup probably only takes me about 10 minutes, if that even. Reason being is I don't use any foundation or powder. I mean, I'm rubbing my face. I would not be doing this if I had on powder or foundation. I just don't feel like I need it really. I've never really had any major problems with my skin, except for my dark circles, which, I mean, I honestly, I think it kind of adds to the look. I don't mind the dark circles, really. So, yeah, I see foundation and powder as one more thing it can cause acne, and I don't like it getting on my clothes. Like, the powder gets on your clothes, and you're like, you know, you gotta brush it off, and it just looks like shit, and you can smell it, too. It ends up in your mouth. Like, last time I wore foundation and powder, like, I kept tasting it all day. It was like, ugh. It's really unpleasant taste and unpleasant feeling in your mouth, to feel as though you've got makeup in your mouth. So no foundation, no powder for me. I don't feel like I need it. Also because I've got a little bit of crepe skin starting underneath my eyes, and so when I put on my makeup, I have to be able to pull back and down like that to apply my eyeliner. So if I had on foundation and powder, I wouldn't be able to do that. So those are the reasons why I don't use foundation or powder. And so I would say, collectively, to do the hair and the makeup, maybe 45 minutes to do both, assuming I do one right after the other and I don't piddle around or anything. So, yeah, what am I wearing today? Well, you've seen my jewelry, kind of, so I'm just going to give you guys a quick show of what I'm wearing. It's like a basic black sweater. Yes, you can see my fat rolls, and I have to wear a flesh-colored bra with this outfit, otherwise people can see my bra. It's just like a basic, like a sweater, and then I've got on black leggings, basic black leggings, and I have on my boots that have the little zippers all over them. So that's what I'm wearing today. I'm trying to fix my camera. I think it's as good as it's going to get. So, yeah, so I guess I'm going to stop talking now. That's my version of the Goth Tag. If you have any questions, like if you want me to do a Q&A video, I'll be happy to do one. Make sure you post your questions in the comments below this video. Not like spread all over all my videos, because I won't be able to like find all of them and then answer all of them. So post your questions underneath, you know, on this video in the comment section. If you have not already, then please subscribe and like and share and do all that stuff. I hope you enjoyed watching, and I'm gonna find something else to do now. I realized that I forgot to talk about religion, so I'm just going to talk about that really quickly before this video is truly concluded. My personal religion is I don't subscribe to organized religion. I prefer to say that I'm spiritual. If I had to like choose a set of beliefs or belief system that has a label, I would say old world pagan, I guess, or just like old world ways, really, pre-Christian ways. Other Goths, I really have never heard Goths mention their religions much before, although I know that there is a great deal of variation. I would say there are definitely Goths who are Christian or Catholic. There are definitely Goths who are Jewish. There are definitely Goths who practice Wicca, or that practice like maybe Santeria or something like that. I know there are plenty of Goths who are atheists, and there are plenty who are Buddhists, and many who just identify as being just spiritual. So, as far as like religion goes, no, Goths do not necessarily all like worship Satan or anything like that. We may look a little bit scary, but no. There are Goths out there who are Satanists, and actually Satanism itself is something that I think no one really has a correct perception in their mind of what it actually is. It's about individuality and free will, more so than it is worshipping Satan or worshipping a devil or something like that, or summoning demons or something like that. It's not. I mean, people have so many silly ideas in their heads about it because mainly because of slasher novels and because of the movies and things like that. If that's your source of it for information, then your odds are you're going to be incorrect. But yeah, it's extremely varied as far as religion and Goths. So, and I guess that's all for now. So, I guess now this video is completely done. Goodbye. Like and share and subscribe.